So that is which is there for your syllabus. That is 19th is your internals, right? So for that we are going to discuss about the module 5 revision part of the module 5, which are very easy for you to learn. Okay, introduction to Arduino. From introduction Arduino, we'll start our revision part. So Arduino, you know that it is an open source advancement prototyping platform, which is going to depend on simple to utilize equipment and programming. And Arduino can do inputs such as detecting the power of the light, events triggered by the button or a Twitter message, and can respond into the yield. For example, run the engine on the LED, send data through the online. Instructions to the microcontroller are given by the use of Arduino programming dialect, which depends on uh, wiring and handled through the utilization of Arduino software integrated. So Arduino board is able to read the inputs, light sensors, finger on the button or Twitter messages, turn into an output, activating the motor, turning the LED, okay, publishing something on the online. So Arduino is a small computer that you can program to read the information from the world around you and to send the commands to the outside world. All this is possible because you can connect several devices and components to the Arduino to do what you want actually to do. If you want to do some amazing project with it, there is no limit for what you can do, and using your imagination everything is possible with the Arduino UNO. It is a tiny computer, as we have discussed, that you can connect it to the electrical circuits, and this makes it easy to read inputs, read the data from the outside, and control the output, send a command to the outside. The brain of this board is Arduino UNO SM, which is we are going to use a 80 mega 328P chip, where you can store your programs that will tell your Arduino what to do. So we can define it is a microcontroller based board based on the 80 mega 328P, that is a advanced version of the latest version of your circuit board, and it is an open source product software hardware which is accessible and flexible to the customers. Arduino is a flexible because of the offerings variety of digital and analog pins. It has SP and power pulse width modulation outputs. Arduino is easy to use, connected to the computer via USB, and it can communicate using a serial protocol, and it is inexpensive. Okay, and then around 500 rupees per board with the free authoring software, that is the Arduino software they are going to provide. And Arduino has a growing online community where lots of source code is available for use, share and post examples for others to use too. Arduino is a cross-platform which can work on Windows, Mac and Linux platform also. I can say that Arduino software is a platform independent software. Arduino follows simple, clear programming environment like our C language. As we already learned about the C language, right? We know something about a C language, the logics and syntaxes. Even this Arduino soft program also follows the same logic, but syntaxes only differs in the programming language. Then which Arduino you are going to use? Okay. So as I told, the Arduino has mm, 14 digital input output pins and 6 analog inputs and 16 megahertz quartz crystal, and it has a USB connection, a power jack where we are going to connect a power connector, okay, IC, SP, header and a reset button. UNO means one in Italian word was chosen to mark the release of Arduino software IDE 1.0. The UNO board and version 1.0 of Arduino software were the reference version of Arduino, now evolved to the new releases. So which Arduino means? I told no, this is 80 mega 328p is the latest version of your Arduino, and it is in the 10 years since Arduino was released, hundreds of Arduino boards are available in market, serving every kind of purpose. Among all in this book, we are going to focus properly on the Arduino UNO, which is used in almost 99% of your project use. Some of the boards that is from Arduino family are Arduino Mega is a big sister of UNO with more memory and pins with a different chip. 80 Mega 2560 useful when your project doesn't fit in an UNO. Okay, Arduino Micro is a bit smaller with a chip 80 Mega 3 and can sit like a keyboard or mouse, which does it task with native of USB. It's slim with the download pins which can be plugged into the the breadboard. So you people are familiar with electronic devices, the breadboard, right? So these even the Arduino 2560 is also look like that in that way only. The Arduino MKR 1000 is a little like in Arduino Micro, but it has more powerful 32-bit 80 SAM ARM chip and built in with Wi-Fi. A great upgrade for when you want to do Internet of Things on all projects, right? So when you want to do the when you want to connect the IoT devices related projects, right? It will be easy for because since it has a upgradation of the internet. Okay, and Flora is an Arduino compatible from Adafruit, which is a round wearable which can be sewed into the clothing. In this, all these prototypes are built by using the Arduino UNO board from the Arduino family, which is going to be the end point, that is a physical IoT physical devices and end point Arduino UNO. You can see that exploring the circuit diagram. So just see that your Arduino UNO learning board will have the reset button, power LEDs, right? Microcontroller, power pins, analog input pins, and power jack. You can see that numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, okay, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So, okay, like this, you have the number of pins. Then first button is called as a reset button. This will restart any code that is loaded into the Arduino board. See here, that is the number one button. It is a reset button which is going to restart any code that is loaded to the Arduino board. And number two, see there, the button 2. So that is called as a AREF. It stands for analog reference, A reference, okay, and is used to set an external reference voltages. And number 3, see here, GND. You can see there on the label GND AREF, okay. So ground pin, there are few ground pins on the Arduino and they will work the same. Okay, they are all connected to the ground. Okay, then you have fourth pins here, 0 to 14, that is 0 to 13, it becomes a 14. Okay, so these 0 to 13 can be used for digital input or the output. They can be made use even as they act as a input as well as a output also. Next you see PWM, the pins marked with the tilde operator symbol can simulate analog output. Okay, and you can see there the pulse that is the pin number PWM, pulse width modulation, right, which is going to be useful for the simulation of any analog output, because you know that it is the analog output will be not in the form of a digits, it will be in the form of a wave, right? Square wave or sine wave, something like that, it is going to display in the form of a wave, right? When we want to output simulate the output of that analog, it is going to display in the form of a wave. That's why we call it as a simulation of the analog output. Next, sixth pin number is USB connection. See there, pin number 6, USB connection, where those use it for powering up your Arduino and the uploading sketches. When you want to upload your uh, sketches, right, on your Arduino board, so we use a USB connection. So next, pin number 7, see there, it is written TX and RX, transmitter and the receiver. So where the information is going to be transmitted, after the processing, the information is received, data indicates the LED. Suppose the TX pin is LED glows, then the transmission process takes place, right? And if the RX pin is going to glow, LED glows, then it indicates that there is a information, the data is going to be received from the your microcontroller. Microcontroller is also called as what? It is also called as the brain of the computer, right? Everything on the Arduino board is meant to support this microcontroller, whether it is a digital pin or analog pin. Okay, whatever the pins you are going to use it in this board, all will in the directly or indirectly, they'll all support the microcontroller. So that is a 80 mega microcontroller. This is the brain and is where the programs are going to be stored. Okay. Next, power 9, the pin number 9, you can see the on and off. That indicates power LED indicator. This LED lights up anytime the board is plugged in the power source. Whenever you are going to connect the Arduino board to get it charged, right? It is going to display the LED will be in the on condition, it glows. Okay. If it is in the off condition, that means your not power is not plugged in. Okay, that is a indicator which indicates the power plugging of the Arduino UNO. And pin number 10, see there is a small white you can see on the board, that is called as the voltage regulator, we call it. This controls the amount of voltage going into the Arduino board. We can call stabilizer. Okay, in our house, our home appliances, for example, fridge, television set, they need a stabilizer. Okay, because the voltage should not get fluctuated. If the voltage get fluctuated in a variations of 0 to 250 volts, right, what happens is your, since electronic circuit is a very sensitive circuit, because of that there is no constant supply of the power, right? If there is a lot of fluctuations in your power supply, then that whatever the systems that are connected to your power get vanished or get affected. You may ICs may get burnt, right, when high voltage is going to be supplied. So that is the reason why we need a voltage regulator for any electronic devices. Okay. Even you can see in our central processing unit, that is a CPU, it is actually a electronic device which contains switch mode power supply, right? What is the purpose of switch mode SMPS in our CPU? That is going to supply the constant voltage. Okay, there will be no fluctuations, that controls all the fluctuations of the voltage, and there will be a constant power supply to the components of your CPU. So every electronic device inbuilt or outside power source, there will be a stabilizer to power to supply the power stable, that is in a straight line, no variations in the power. Okay. And 11, pin number 11, you can see there, that is for the DC power barrel check. This is used for powering your Arduino with the power supply. When we are going to then, so next is a 3.3 pin, that is 12, pin number 12. So you can see label 3.3, right? That is a minimum voltage which you are going to supply for the Arduino UNO, right? Minimum it required 5 volts power of your projects, right? And 5 volts pin supply 5 volts to power of your projects itself. That means your Arduino board can accept minimum 3.3 volts and maximum of 5 volts. Okay, so that is what they know. When a set as input, okay, it is going to read high and low, where set when set as output, these pins can apply voltage. They can only apply 5 volts as high and 0 voltage as the low voltage. PWM pins. These are digital pins marked with 11, 10, 9, 6, 5 and 3. This PWM stands for pulse width modulation, and it allows to make the digital pins output fake varying amounts of voltage. You will learn more about the pulse width module in the later sections. So next is the pin number 14. See there another ground pin you can see. That is a ground pin. There are few ground pins on the Arduino, and they all work the same. Okay. So they all see here pin number 3 is also ground. Pin number 14 is also ground. Right. They all work on the same itself. Then pin number 15, see A0 to A5, that is analog pins, right? Analog pins are labeled from A0 to A5 and are most often used to read analog sensors, right? They can read different amount of voltage between 0 to 5 volts. Additionally, they can also be used to digital input and output pins like the digital pins. Okay, so that is about your Arduino pins. Okay, and as I told, USB jack, which is connecting the male USB A to male USB B cable. How you upload the programs from your computer or your Arduino board, these also powers your Arduino. Power jack, the power jack is where you connect a component to power up your Arduino UNO. Recommended voltage is 5 volts. There are several ways to power your Arduino. Rechargeable batteries are also available, and disposable batteries, well watts and solar panels are also available for this the Arduino UNO board. Okay, so then inbuilt. Okay, this is about the exploring your Arduino UNO board. Then how we are going to install the Arduino board software before going into the fundamental programmings, right? And before that also we'll learn what this Arduino board will do the things. See, the things that Arduino can do is the simplest thing you can control with your Arduino is an LED, right? Light emitting diode, right? Whenever a power is on, that LED glows. When power is off, that LED off only. Okay. So off is 0 voltage, and high when it glows it is a 5 volts. Okay, you can also display a message in a display like LCD display. Okay, then you can also control DC or servo motors. You can collect servo motors also. You can also read data from the outside world. You can also read the data from even the outside world. So the motion sensors always allows you to detect the movement of the mouse. Okay, light sensors. This allows you to measure the quantity of the light in outside world. Humidity and temperature sensors are also connected. They are used to measure the humidity and temperature surrounding of that area. Next is so that is humidity sensors and temperature sensors. They use to measure the humidity and the temperature. Next is ultrasonic sensors. These sensors allows you to determine the distance to an object through the, sonar. Okay, and the shields extension of the Arduino board. Shields are nothing but a board that will expand the functionalities of your Arduino. You must need to plug them over the top of the Arduino. There are countless types of shields to do countless tasks. Okay. Then come for the how I told no the Arduino programming is as simple as C language, right? So this you want to install the software even for the Arduino board. The Arduino IDE, we call it as an integrated development environment, is where you develop your programs that will tell your Arduino what to do. You can load new programs onto the main chip, the 80 mega 328p via USB using the Arduino IDE. To download your Arduino IDE, browse on the internet. Okay, select which operating system you are using and download it in your computer. Okay, whether you are downloaded the Windows, Linux or the Mac operating system, right? We won't go to much detail how to install this software, since Arduino site itself is going to explain you when you start installing the software. Okay, and this when you first open the Arduino IDE, you will see something similar to the structure of a Arduino programming. Okay, then let me study the connect how we are going to connect the Arduino UNO learning board to your computer. After connecting your Arduino with a USB cable, you need to make sure that Arduino IDE has selected the right board you are using. In our case, we are going to use the Arduino UNO, as you should go to the you have to connect, then select the serial port where your Arduino is connected, and then it is going to show the right port, and it displays the information about the Arduino format, or choose sketch for encoding or reload, what operation you are supposed to do on that. Okay, then you are going to get a verify upload open tools. Then the different toolbar operations in the Arduino IDE are available there. So whenever you are going to open the layout of Arduino UNO IDE, there are the toolbar buttons and functions of each button we are going to see. Okay, those are verify, compile, stop, new, open, upload, serial monitor, verify, compile, stop button. These are the different icons which we can see on Arduino board. Then the stop, what is the function of this stop is it stops the serial motion, it stops the serial monitor or unlight other buttons. Okay, and there is a new button which you can see there in the Arduino software. It is used to create a new blank sketch, enter a name and a location for your sketch. Then open is like something like a, it shows a list of sketches in your sketchbook. Okay, say for example it is something like when you are going to open a C editor, right? That is a turbo C editor. You can see the file which contains the new, right? Then open, save as, print, exit, right, quit, like this you can see the options. Similarly, in Arduino software editor also you can see the open. It shows a list of sketches in your sketchbook. Upload is the one option is there, right? That uploads the current sketch to the Arduino. You need to make sure that you have the current board and port selected before uploading. And you have serial monitor, which is going to display serial data being sent from the Arduino. And verify or compile, it is a button used to check that your code is correct before you upload it into your Arduino. Then stop button will stop the serial monitor from operating. if you need to obtain a snapshot of the serial data so far it has been examined. So that is about the what you are whenever you are going to open a Arduino software, these are the toolbars options which are available on the Arduino IDE port. So next you will come for the, you are familiar with the breadboard, right? I don't know whether you have seen or not in electronic, to connect electronic circuits, right? We use a breadboard, right? So where this breadboard is also going to work as a prototype for a Arduino UNO circuits. So in order to keep our circuit organized, what we want to do is, so the breadboard allows you to connect the components together in plugging them into the little holes. The key is to understand how these holes are connected. As you can see the breadboard, right? The holes in the column when oriented shown in the pictures are connected together. So to connect the components together, you need to plug the leads you want connected into the same column. Note that the columns are not connected across the trench in the center of the board. Also notice that as the long rows at the top and bottom are connected together, these are typically used to create the rails. These are typically used for ground and supply voltages. You might need to connect many components that you want to mark. There are just markings and the, these things. Okay, there is a, when you are going to see your see just your Arduino board, there is a microcontroller Arduino UNO, and it is a 80 mega 32 to 328p, right? Its technical specification is, and its operating voltage will be 5 volts, okay, and input voltage is recommended from 7 to 12 volts, okay, and input voltage is from 6 to 20 volts. Then digital input output pin is 14 pins, of which 6 provide pulse width modulation output, and digital input output pin is 6. Analog input pin output pins are 6, right? And DC current per IO pin is 20 milliampere, and DC current for 3.3 volts will be 50 milliampere, and there will be a flash memory of 32 kilobytes, of which 0.5 KB used by the bootloader, and static RAM is of 2 kilobytes, a T mega 80 mega 328p, and electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. It is going to take around 1 kilobyte, okay, so in 80 mega 328, and check speed will be 16 megahertz, okay. This is all about the technical specification of our Arduino UNO, okay. This is about the buttons. Then next come for the next is about the physical, that is a fundamentals of your Arduino programming. Okay, there are some basic structure of Arduino programming with respect to the usage of variables, constants, control flow statements, and finally predefined functions used to read analog and digital inputs. Okay, so you can see the fundamentals of Arduino programming. It contains the structure of your Arduino programming containing the two parts as shown below. One is wired setup, okay, which is going to contain some group of statements and it runs only once. And wired loop, there is another method, that is a function, okay. This is called as a execution block where instructions are executed repeatedly, okay, and you can see the statements. Functionalities involve reading inputs, triggering outputs. This loop is there, no, that is going to be repeated for a specified number of times, okay. That is what the about the structure of your Arduino UNO programming. Very important, two required functions or methods or routines are set up that is going to set all the all initializes all the variables and the pins, right? And it is going to be executed only once. Next is while loop. It is the name itself says that it keeps on repeating the things until it is going to specify some condition. Okay, otherwise it will be going into the infinite loop. Okay, once you're going to get an infinite loop, then the whatever the data you have, that is lost only. Okay, that is about the structure of a Arduino programming. Then shall we take a setup function? So what is the function of the setup is that is it is going to set the pin mode options. That is the what is the pin number, what it is going to act as, whether it is going to act as the input or the output. Okay, so pin configuration as indicates it is the pin number, that is A0 to A5 or digital pins from 0 to 13. You have to specify that whether it is going to act as an input or it is going to act as an output. Okay, then while loop, after calling the setup function, okay, then it does its task. It is going to repeat. It uses for repetition of the statements. Okay, now you may be setting the pins or you may be pauses for a thousand. That is a delay function which is going to be specified in milliseconds. Okay, so digital write pin comma high and delay 10,000 means it will wait for 10 seconds. Okay, 1000 will be is equal to 1 millisecond. Sorry, 10,000 milliseconds will be is equal to 1 second. If you are going to give delay of 10,000, then it will be 10 seconds. It will wait for the 10 seconds, right? So next, after that, we have some functions, right? A function is a piece of code that has a name and set of statements executed when a function is going to be called or invoked. A functions are declared by its type followed with the name of the function. The general syntax of any function will be the return type of that function, what kind of value it is going to return, whether it is a void or int or float. Then you have to specify the name of the function, and then in the parenthesis you have to specify the parameters, right? Parameters are nothing but the arguments which you are going to pass it on to that particular function to perform a specified task. Okay, so next is the delay. That is the example delay where, okay, it is going to create a temporary variable where is equal to analog read potent. So read from the potentiometer, and where is equal to where variable, convert the value of the variable into the where, and return where is it is going to return the value to the calling part of the particular function. So that return type will be becomes the type of the return type. What kind of value you are returning, whether you're returning the integer or a real number or the floating point number, we say that it is a return statement must exist. Sometimes when we don't want to return the value, we are going to display the same inside the function itself, and we are going to give the return type is equal to return type will be is equal to void. So void indicates that nothing we are going to return. And these curly brackets are going to state that define the beginning and end of the function blocks. Unbalanced braces may lead to the compiler errors. That means number of opening brackets will be is equal to number of closing brackets. If any one bracket is missing, whether it is a beginning, opening bracket is used for beginning of any function block, and closing braces will be used for end of the particular block, right? If either a open bracket or a closed bracket is missing, then it is going to give a, it is going to display the error message stating that you have the error. Okay, next will be the the curly brackets. That is what I told, that they define beginning and end of the function blocks, and unbalanced begin and end of the end brackets may lead to the compiler errors. Okay, that's all about and we use a semicolon. It is used to end a statement and separate the elements of the program. Syntax will be like this: say int x is equal to 14. And even the Arduino programming allows you to specify the comments, right? So comments are nothing but you can use you are familiar with the single line comment, which is used in C++ language, and the multi-line comment, which is going to be when you want to extend your more than one line of input as a comment, then you are going to represent with the multi-line comment. Okay, and that multi-line comment is start with the front slash and the star, and end with the star and the end slash. Okay, or you can use even the single line comment also, begin with the two front slash and ends with the next instructions followed, and till the end of the line it is going to be treated as a comment itself. As you people know that comment is going to be represented as a self explanation to the user. Okay, and they represent the they will not occupy any memory space, and whenever you want to define the problem statement, you can use a multi-line comment representation. And suppose any complicated part of the calculation is there, you can define the you can enclose the comment inside the bracket, so that any other person can understand your logic. Okay, and they came to know whether the logic is correct or not. Okay, so that's all about your the Arduino programming. So next class I will continue with the